My dear student and learner, today I am going to teach you a very important factor to determine a organic reactions product as well as to decide the stability of intermediates. So the name of this topic is inductive effect. I have tried here to explain you with this example also. So try to see this video up to last. So electronic movement in this covalent bonds, we can say that there are two types of effect. One is permanent effect and another one is a temporary effect. In case of permanent effect, we have a three effects, and in case of temporary effect, we have a two effects. So in case of permanent effect, we have a inductive effect, resonance effect, and a hyperconjugative effect. In case of temporary effect, we have inductometric effect and electrometric effect. Today, I try to cover a inductive effect. Remaining all the effect, I will try in my next video. But dear student, today we try to learn about what is an inductive effect and what is the who are the responsible to produce the inductive effect. So first and foremost thing in case of inductive effect is electronegativity. Whenever you heard जब भी आपको इंडक्टिव इफेक्ट का आवाज सुनाई दे, there should be a background music of electronegativity. So I can say normally we know that electronegativity, but we are not going to be clear. So today first I focus to clear the concept of electronegativity. This is just representation of periodic table and the Pauling scale is given here. So case number 1 in which I can arrange this electronegativity according to the period. So normally if I move in this directions, the electronegativity is going to be increases. This is 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5 and 4. So I can say here electronegativity within the period is like this. Okay, there is no any hesitations. Fluorine is more electronegative than oxygen, then oxygen is more electronegative than nitrogen carbon bonds. The same way here also I want to share a case number 2. A case number 2 is arrange this in a group in this way. So here also I can say a fluorine is always winner. Fluorine, chlorine, bromide and these are the electrolytes. These are the case number 2. Now after that I want to show this case number 3 also. So case number 3 is based on a hybridizations. If dear student you have not seen the video of hybridizations, then don't go ahead. So more electronegative is sp, then sp2, then sp3. The reason behind that this electronegativity is percentage S character. If increase percentage S character, there is increase electronegativity. So what is percentage X character? If you don't know, then ask me in a comment box. I will try to give the answer. These are the case number 3. Now the interesting case number 4. So case number 4 is a combinations of electronegativity of case number 1 and case number 3. Suppose FsP3 is a more electronegative. We are agreed. Then we have OsP3. Then I am keeping a space here. Then nitrogen sp3, Then I'm again keeping a space here. Then carbon sp3. This is very simple. I have make here. So I want to keep a sp hybridized carbon in that. So I can say a carbon sp is come here. So carbon sp is more electronegative than nitrogen sp3, and oxygen sp3 is more electronegative than carbon sp. Then here I can keep this carbon sp2. This is very important case number 4. I hope this is a very helpful to decide the electronegativity, then inductive effect, then we can say acid and base characteristic also. So here I am keeping you electronegativity of carbon sp, sp2 and sp3. So in case of sp, sp2 and sp3, they have some electronegativity and it is intermediate. They have also a Pauling scale, and that Pauling scale is for sp3 it is 2.3, then sp2 it is a 2.6, then in case of sp it is 3.1. This is one of the my try to explain you electronegativity. Another one more electronegativity I want to share with you. So after this is very important, you must have to remember that. And this after that, basically I am remembering this electronegativity simply of fluorine, then chlorine, then bromine, then iodine. Okay, that is I am arranging is then I have oxygen, then I have a nitrogen, then I have a sulfur, then I have a carbon, then I have a hydrogens, phosphorus and boron. This is also one of the important way to remember this electronegativity. Somewhere I have kept the space, so that space is filled with the help of this is carbon sp. There is no anything second position, always even positions, odd positions I am keeping. So after bromide there is a sp2, carbon sp2. This is carbon sp3. So this electronegativity is very helpful. How to remember it? First write F, Cl, Br and I. Intermediate you write oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur. Then our standard that is carbon and hydrogen, phosphorus and boron. These are the arrange, and then you keep at odd position. This is odd positions. This is a space for odd. This is a space for even. This is a space for odd. Okay, so there you keep. So this is a case number 5. Dear student, I am very sure the case number 4 and case number 5 electronegativity you most probably don't know, but try to remember this electronegativity of case number 4 and case number 5. Let us go ahead. Introductions of polarization of one bond caused by the polarization of the adjacent bond. So here I want to explain so how and why this inductive effect will create. Another thing I want to share with you, based on that, a carbon is attached. If a carbon is attached to this are the element, and carbon could attach to this element. If carbon attaches to this element, then carbon is I plus. And if the carbon is attached to such element, then it is a I minus. I will try to explain you what is I plus and I minus effect. So here I take this example here. I can take one of the example, that is I have CH3, CH2. Suppose I take the ethane here, CH3, CH3. Then from I make a two parts. One is CH3, CH2, it is attached to Cl, and here it is CH3, CH2, and it is attached to MgBr. Dear student, if you see here, the difference is from the ethane, I make a compound, and this is a Cl, and this is a MgBr. Now I am informing you of one of the most important criteria is in any organic compound there are plus I and minus I, both group are present. Again I am repeating, any organic compound there are plus I and minus I group are present, but we are more concentrate about the plus I effect or minus I effect of functional group. हमारे यहाँ ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड में दोनों इफेक्ट होगी, पर हम किस पे ज्यादा फोकस करेंगे, तो जिसमें जिस इफेक्ट फंक्शनल ग्रुप की होगी. तो नाउ हियर आई विल ट्राई एंड एक्सप्लेन यू. दिस इज मोर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव compared to what? Compared to this carbon. And this is more electropositive compared to what? This. So this is electronegative here. So those electronegative, they are I plus, sorry, I minus. Here this is I minus. Now the counterpart of this one is also explained. If this is I minus, if it withdraw the electron, then it should have to donate the electron. Then it should have a donate the electron. So normally, this two we have seen. Here, the electronegativity of this carbon and the electronegativity of this carbon are same. So I can say there is no inductive effect. So dear student, inductive effect would arise only due to a difference in electronegativity. If there is no difference in electronegativity, then there is no inductive effect. There is difference in electronegativity, then I can say there is always inductive effect to produce. Now this is known as I plus, this is known as I minus, this is known as I minus, this is known as I plus. I told you what is I plus and I minus, but if anyone, your student or examiner or wherever you are considering, that you must have to consider that it has I minus effect. Why? Because a functional group here is, whenever we are considering, we say that in this compound there is I minus effect. Why? Because a chlorine is a functional group and we are more interested in the effect of functional group. Here, if anybody asks you what is the effect, then I can say this is I plus effect, because we are more interested in a effect of a functional group, not many more anything. So I hope you understand that due to electronegativity difference between two adjacent element, the polarizations will come. So this polarization will affect this carbon also. We will see up to what it will affect us. So from that, what is I plus effect? What is I minus effect? If we see that I plus means चारों हाथ उसके पर होंगे. That means it is ready to give the electron. It has a forehand. ऐसा बोलते हैं ना, उसके पर हमारे चारों हाथ है. That it will give the electron. And inductive effect वो लगता ही है कि डोरी से ऐसे खींचता है, like इसके पास. That means I minus effect. So this is a relative terminology, dear student. Here if you see, then here this CH2 is I minus compared to MgBr, and here CH2 is I plus compared to Cl. So I can say this is a relative terminology, and relative to what? We have to take anyone respective. So I can take a hydrogen as a standard for us. So electron withdrawing effect, it have a greater electron withdrawing capacity than the hydrogen. So it has a more electron withdrawing capacity compared to what? Compared to a hydrogen. And magnitude of plus charge is directly proportional to the I minus power. I will tell you what is that. Electron donating group, it has a greater tendency to electron releasing power compared to the hydrogen. So that is also an important. So here first thing is, whenever you find I plus, that means कि चारों हाथ से इलेक्ट्रॉन देने हैं, and when you find the I minus, वो रस्सी से इलेक्ट्रॉन खींचता है. It's look like a रस्सी. So it attract the electron, यहाँ रस्सी से खींचना है और चारों हाथ से देना है. Now this important thing is, I want to share with you and this effect of the group. Then here I can say what are the functional group comes in case of I plus and what are the functional group comes in I minus. So if I say here, then आपको लिखना है what are the functional group comes in I plus. Normally carbon with a single bonded element, they all are a I plus. Carbon with single bonded element, they all are a I plus. Remaining, we keep it into I minus. So here I try to explain you to understand the relative ability. So here written is that magnitude of negative charge has plus I effect. So always a negative and positive charge, they are playing a very important role. So negative charge comes in plus value and positive charge comes in a minus value, because negative charge has more electron, चारों हाथों से वो electron देगा. So here the first group is O minus. Then I have that is a COO minus. Then I have that is carbon methyl. It is attached from here. It is attached from here. Attached from here. So this is methyl. This is also methyl. This is also methyl. Then I have that is carbon CH3, CH3 and decrease one methyl group. So uska tendency bit decrease hoga, because I told you plus I effect is due to carbon with a single bonded element. Then uske baad C, CH3 and decrease one more. Then we have CH3, right? And they all are compared with this hydrogen. So always if you find a negative charge molecule, then write that it is I plus, because negative minus में आएगा, positive negative में आएगा, negative positive, positive negative. Then come at here, what about a plus charge has a minus I effect? So here we try to understand classified based on, so case number 1, we can say all a positive charge group, they have more tendency. So Nr3 plus, because nitrogen is negative compared to sulfur more, so Sr2 plus, then NH3 plus. Okay, these are the plus charge. Now case number 2, that I will explain you how it is written that, but before that we will move to the case number 3. So dear student, if you learn and remember that, I have told you this electronegativity is SsP3, then OsP3, then CsP, then nitrogen sp3, then carbon sp, then carbon sp3. So here first I can write that best is a fluorine, fluoride, chloride, bromide, and iodide. After that, I comes to the oxygens. So in case of oxygen, that is OR, then OH. Then I come to the carbon. So there is carbon, triple bond carbon. They all are attached from here. Then after the carbon, we have a nitrogen, sp3, that is NH2. Then we have a carbon sp. So carbon sp, we have two group. One is phenyl ring also is there. Then because there are more double bonds, so it withdraw very rapidly. Then carbon sp2. So come to here, come to here. Now we reach to the carbon sp3. So that is methyl that comes under there. And now we'll keep here a hydrogen. This is now I hope you understand the case number 1 and case number 2. Now I want to explain a case number 2. That is among these, we take a more electronegative element first. More electronegative element, that is a nitrogen, and nitrogen double bonded. Dear student, this is very important group for us. If you don't know anything, remember that this is a I minus effect. After NO2, we have SO2R. After completion of a nitrogen and sulfur electronegativity element, we come to the carbon. Carbon with triple bond with heteroatom. Then carbon with double bond with heteroatom. Then carbon with double bond with heteroatom. So this electronegativity I have tried to explain you based on the case 1, case 2 and case 3. Again, I want to explain you. If you don't able to remember whole series, there is no issue, but you remember that a carbon with single bond, they always I plus effect, and those who have negative charge, they are the uh, plus effect. And one important functional group is here. I told you that a carbon with single bond, they are I plus effect. But dear student, this is one of the functional group because it is attached to the 3 chloride. So it withdraw the electron. This is a only I minus group. This is a very important for us. Let us go ahead. So I hope you understand what are the effects here. So representations, if I have one compound like this, then this is Cl. Then how and where this electron will go to? So always this is a Cl. Near to that there is a carbon. So I can say there is electronegativity difference. So inductive effect would arise. So it come at here like this. Then there is a decrease effect. Then there is also a decrease effect. One fact is that after a third carbon and after a third covalent bond, there is zero effect of a inductive effect. So this is one of the covalent bond, this is second, this is third. There is no inductive effect, no inductive effect after third carbon, third covalent bond. And I can say this is 1 carbon, this is 2 carbon, this is 3 carbon. After third carbon, there is no effect. Second, I want to share with you is I have CH3, CH2, COOH. And another one is CH3, CH2, COO minus. Dear student, always target to the functional group. So I target the functional group. This is my functional group. This has a I minus effect. And this is a minus charge, so it has a I plus effect. It withdraw this electron. So due to withdrawal, we are getting a plus charge at here. We are getting plus charge at here. So in this case, it is in this direction. So for this case, this is I plus, this is I minus. So always I minus will withdraw the electrons. So I can say there is a minus charge. There is a minus charge because this has a minus charge. This has a plus charge. I plus वाला में plus आएगा, I minus में minus आएगा. So I want to share with you. Always student has confusion how to decide that. How to decide that? Dear student, you have to focus only a functional group, because all the condition and reactions and everything in organic chemistry is going to based on the functional group. If functional group is I plus, the remaining is I minus. If functional group is I minus, then remaining is I plus. Okay. So let us go ahead. Inductive effect and transmission effect. So is a shifting of electron pair in the sigma bond due to electronegativity of nearby atom. I told you that there is a shifting of electron. Shifting of electron means electron will not change its orbital. So I can say I have a carbon and carbon, then electron will play in this group only. Means this electron cannot move to this orbit. So I can say it does not change a orbital also. So requirement is, everyone know that inductive effect जब भी आएगा तो background music लगता ही रहेगा, और वो क्या होगा, electronegativity, electronegativity, electronegativity. Let us go ahead. It operates through a sigma bond. Yes, it is distance dependent effect. I told you after a third carbon and after a three covalent bond there is no effect, vanish effect after third carbons. It is generally observed in saturated compound because a sigma bonded compound are always I can say saturated. Due to inductive effect, it does not cleave the bond. बॉन्ड क्लेव होगा तो वो ऑर्बिटल चेंज कर देगा. यहाँ पे बॉन्ड क्लेव नहीं होता, पर वो क्या होता है, वीकेंड्स होता है, वीकेंड्स. So here if we see this application, just this slide to show you, there is no interest for all this topic. I will make one more video for that, but it is inductive effect is used for stability of carbocation and ion free radical, acid strength of acid and alcohol, basic strength of amines, and relative reactivity for aldehyde and ketone. For all this I will try to make this video. So inductive effect I have written here, I stand for I plus effect, N stand for neglect effect for a long distance. It's a distance dependent effect है. After third carbon and third covalent bond there is no effect. Displacement of electron, the word is very important, that is a displacement of electron. Electron क्या हो जाते हैं यहाँ पे, displace हो जाते हैं. Means they change the place, they does not change the location. Orbitals used for the stability of intermediate. For the covalent bond, third carbon, third covalent bond, there is no effect, minus I effect. Very weaken the bond, does not break it, and electronegativity is playing an important role because ये background music में है. जब inductive effect आती है, then electronegativity, such things we are observing. So here exercise, identify the compound that has a no inductive effect. Suppose I will try here to write a three structure. One is this one. Okay, I will try to draw in this way only. CH3, CH2, CH3. Then I have CH3, CH, double bond CH2. CH3, C, triple bond CH. Now this question is identify the compound has no inductive effect. That means there is no electronegativity difference. If I will write here to hybridization, this is sp3, this is sp3, this is sp3, this is sp3, this is sp2, this is sp2, this is sp3, this is sp and sp. I told you that sp is more electronegative than sp2 than sp3. So dear student, here there is no electronegativity difference. If there is no electronegativity difference, I can say that there is no inductive effect. Right? Let us go ahead. Plus I effect of methyl group and minus I effect of methyl group. Such try to explain you. It's very simple. I have CH3, CH2 and NO2. And I have CH3, CH2 and MgBr. कहाँ पे टारगेट करना है? फंक्शनल ग्रुप पे. ये फंक्शनल ग्रुप है मेरा, ये फंक्शनल ग्रुप है. यहाँ पे नाइट्रोजन है, दैट इज मोर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव, सो आई कैन से दिस इज I माइनस. ये मेटल है, इट इज मोर इलेक्ट्रोपॉजिटिव, सो I प्लस. सो आई कैन से दिस इज I माइनस, देन व्हाट इज दिस? दिस इज I प्लस. दिस इज I प्लस, देन व्हाट इज दिस? दिस इज I माइनस. मैंने अल्काइल लिख दिया इंस्टेड ऑफ मिथाइल, बट द स्टोरी वुड बी द सेम. आई होप you understand that. Let us go and find this plus I effect and minus I effect of the phenyl ring. Dear student, I say that this is my A, this is my B. I am writing here again. हमको कंफ्यूजन ये होगा कि यहाँ तो सब कार्बन ही है. अगर हीट्रो एटम होते हैं नाइट्रोजन ऑक्सीजन तो हम बता पाते कि इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी का डिफरेंस है कि नहीं. बट डियर स्टूडेंट, the importance of hybridization is also a same. So this is sp3 and this is sp2. So I will wait for your response in a comment box, in which case a phenyl ring is a I plus. I want you have to give the answer for this phenyl ring. You have to give this answer for this phenyl ring. Okay. So thank you for watching a whole video. I will make, after the completion of this inductive effect, try to make a video on resonance, mesomeric effect, hyperconjugations, and try to build the concept of organic chemistry. Hope you enjoyed. If any more video you want, then write in a comment box so I can make such more video. Thank you.